Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm Kalikaiz. Today we're going to be discussing the Pauper decks of the week. We're looking at the Magic Online 5.0 metagame. What did well, what was performing the best, and what are the spiciest lists of the week. So before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want sideboard guides, that's on Patreon. And if you want early access to videos, that's on the YouTube membership. So what happened in the leagues this week? Well, Madness Burns still on top with 13% of the metagame, 14% with 23 trophies. Elves with 22 trophies. Very strong for Elves at 13.3%. Then we have Mono Red Burn. There's two variations of it right now. One is a Pinger version, and one is a Go Wide version, trying to kind of mimic the Coldotha deck. Walls in fourth place with 11, and then Mono Blue Terror, White Weenie, Jund Wildfire. Looks very diverse as far as the metagame goes, which is awesome to see. One thing that stuck out was Arcane Tide, only at 4 trophies, so not performing very well. Basically on rate with Tron. So both of those seeming to not take over the metagame. So far the unbans not really looking to be something that needs to be taken care of. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at some decks. So what was spicy? Well, first of all, this Familiars deck is very spicy by Chaotic MTG. This is basically Jeskai Ephemerate, but Familiars. So they're playing 4 of Cleansing Wildfire in the Fam Shell with Sunscape, Seagate Oracle, Archaeomancer, Murmuring Mystic, and Muldrifter. So the same creatures package, but the spells are completely different. They're playing no Preordain. They're playing 2 Bolts and 3 Screds. 5 counter spells with 3 negate and 2 prohibit, 2 Thraben Charms in the main deck, and then 4 Lorien Revealed with 20 lands. It's pretty interesting. Also, no life gain in the main deck. They're choosing to put Godfrey's Faithful in the sideboard. So they have mostly like a counter, kind of just your standard Jeskai control with counters and removal spells. So if you're interested in playing a Jeskai control style deck, maybe check out this one. If you want to play more of the hyper combo version of Familiars, this one was by Rubens Nito. They're playing only 18 lands with 11 islands and 7 dual lands, beachfront or glacial floodplain. They have 4 of Familiar, Mancer, and Drifter, 4 of High Tide, and 2 of Merchant Scroll. No Preordain in this list either, but they're playing an interesting package of 4 Modern Age and 4 Deep Analysis. So once you actually have your High Tide combo online, you're making infinite mana, and then you can point Deep Analysis at your opponent after putting all of your counterspells in your hand, like Counterspell and Lose Focus. Or you can, they have the Capsize in this deck, which is pretty neat. So once you have infinite mana, you can use the buyback to return your Archaeomancer, and then play your Archaeomancer, returning every single spell that's in your graveyard, and that means that you can probably draw your deck off of only 1 Archaeomancer once you've gone infinite. They chose to play Stream of Thought in their deck as a way to close the game quickly. I talked to them specifically, and they said that people just don't concede to the Capsize lock, so they had to do that. So the next deck, this is Altertron, a 5.0 by Loki God. They have chosen to get rid of the card draw spells, so they're playing 4 Stirrings, 4 Rumble, and then basically going hard on everything else. 4 Retriever, 3 Kinsmith. Mirror Kinsmith is a 4 mana 3/1. Then when it ETBs, you can search your library for a mirror card and put it in your hand, which means that if you have enough mana, you can actually start the combo with just a single card, being the Kinsmith, as long as you have the Ashnod's Altar in play. They have 4 Altar, 4 Golem Foundry, 4 Prism, 4 Map, 4 Star. So this deck is just looking to go off and power through. Instead of playing card draw, they're playing card selection and looking to combo quickly. I don't see anything too crazy out of that. They have some duresses for the High Tides and for control decks. This next deck here is Dredge by Clamigo. This sort of looks similar to the version of the deck that's playing mono red, but it is a red-black deck. They've got Voldaren Epicure, Scrapwork Mutt. They've got the Sneaky Snacker, Stinkweed Imp, but they're playing 4 Chitin Gravestalker. Okay, no other things, but it costs 1 less to cast for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. So it's easily a 1 mana 5/4, which is very strong. They've got 4 Looting, 4 Cathartic Reunion, 4 Exhume, and 4 Dread Return. I'm interested to see if maybe they could be playing the new Dragon spell over the Cathartic Reunion or the Looting, or maybe something else. It's very cool. Nice to see innovation on the Dredge decks. Another innovation here is Naya Bully by Elvis 10. So this is basically Boros Bully, but they slotted in Writhing Chrysalis, and they're also slotting in Salt Road Pack Beast, which when it becomes a 1 mana 4/3 draw card, that is very, very, very powerful. Definitely can turn that online pretty quickly. A few Thraben Charms. We got Battle Screech, and then sort of the reason to play Boros is Rally the Peasants, which is 2 and a white or 2 and a red for flashback to give all your creatures +2/+0 until end of turn. They've got, let's see, Sheltering Landscape as the main way to fetch out their forest or their mountain, and then Springleaf Drum also for fixing. Sideboard is very, very solid. 4 Strands, 4 Dust, 4 Red Blast, and 3 Electrickery. They're not messing around. Okay, the next deck, I wanted to showcase the Go Wide Burn deck. So it's playing 4 Percussionist, 4 Bushwhacker, 4 Tomb Raider, 4 Epicure, and then here's the special part of the deck. 4 Burning Tree Emissary. ETB, add red and green. Then after you play those, you can use the red-green to cast Rally at the Hornburg, which is create 2 1-white human soldier tokens, and the humans you control get haste until end of turn. So essentially for the cost of 2 cards and 2 mana, you make 4 power attacking immediately. You've got 4 Galblast, 4 Bolt, 4 Reckless Impulse effects, 2 Chain Lightning, so 10 burn spells, and then 4 synthesizers. Sideboard makes sense. 4 Red Blast effects, 3 Relics, 4 Smash, and 4 Raise. Raise is very strong when you're drawing cards and continuing to beat down on your opponent. Really good versus stuff like Familiars or Tron decks. Now we're getting a little spicier. This is the green, mono green Stompy, the bargain package, where you have your Young Wolf to sacrifice to the Bayou Groff. You also have Nest Invader, Troublemaker Oof, Booty Mandrills. It's cool to see a couple different variations of like a green Stompy deck. They also have this 3 of Bequeathal. Enchanted creatures put into a graveyard, draw 2 cards. So that's a draw spell for their deck. And they've got Malevolent Rumble, which actually can find their Bequeathal, which is kind of neat. Either the Glade in the sideboard. That's cool. Be the clan as well. Here's a variation of Dredge as well. This is by number 1. I wanted to point out that they're playing 4 Prowler, 4 Wayfinder, and 4 of this new card. I think this is new. Enoch Wayfarer, or Enoch Wayfarer. ETB Mill 3. It's basically looks to be the same as a Prowler. Yep, it's just effectively the same as the Prowler. Which, you know, that gives it a lot more consistency. And then they're playing 4 Exhume, 4 Rumble, 3 Gnaw, 4 Dread Return. Very, very straightforward version of this deck. But I do think that the Wayfarer is potentially an upgrade. People were playing Circle of the Land Druid previously, and this gets you the land right away, which is good. Here we have, so we've got the top 4. I put myself in the top 4 because pili-pala is pretty spicy in my opinion. So this deck is pili-pala. You can untap it for 2 mana to add a mana of any color, which you combine with the Careful Cultivation and gives you infinite mana of any color. So once you start that chain and you have infinite mana, you can just draw through your deck with all your draw spells, Insight, Fanatical Offering, and then look to play out some Writhing Chrysalis and attack, or drain your opponent with Blood Right Invoker. This deck is very powerful. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it work. And there's also the problem where people were prepared for Glee and haven't really cut their Glee hate. Their Standard Bearers, their Snuff Outs. Also, the pili-pala is only a 1/1, so it has some problems versus things like Lava Dart, which is highly played, versus Munitions, which is highly played. So these kinds of things are things to consider, but it's definitely a sweet deck, and I'm kind of addicted to it right now, trying a lot of different things. The next deck up on the spice chain is Black by Exotico. This is Black Burn, which I think is pretty spicy. We haven't really seen people succeed with this lately, but it is kind of a stock list. They've got Changeling Outcast, which is just a 1/1 that's always unblockable. Night Market, look out when it becomes tapped, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. And then Prickly Bogart has Fear. So they have a lot of 1 mana things that can get in. They have Village Rites to sacrifice the creature if it's not good. Soul Reap. Destroy target non-green creature and its controller loses 3 life if you've played another black spell this turn. That's pretty classic for the deck. Sovereign's Bite is a drain 3. Tyrant's Choice. You usually will choose the mode that each opponent loses 4 life. Vampire's Kiss, okay. And then Morsel Theft. Let's see, Prowl for 1. You can play this for the Prowl cost if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with a rogue. I'm going to assume these are all rogues. They are. So Morsel Theft, 2 mana, another drain 3, and you also get to draw a card. And they've got Hopeless Nightmare and Okiba Reckoner Raid. Yeah, that deck is pretty cool too. And it's also pretty cheap, I believe. Yes, less than 4 tickets on Magic Online. If you need a budget way to get into Magic Online, maybe this is your call. Now, the top 2 decks. This one was pretty spicy. I think this would have been maybe the spiciest for me, but the other one does kind of beat it out. This is Esper Ephemerate. So they're looking to play a Flicker control deck. Endgame with Archaeomancer, Ephemerate, and Counterspell. Also, you can go see Flicker stuff. Don't really understand why they're playing Core Skyfisher. Okay, they've got Core Skyfisher and Tithing Blade or Grimbauble. That makes sense then. And then they're playing a bunch of weird stuff. Cremate, exile a card from a graveyard, draw a card, a Duress, or Jolted Awake. And then 2 Tune in the Narrative. So they've got an energy package going on here. Really, really cool. I love to see this person just went wild. They're not even playing Refurbished Familiar. They're just doing a Flicker thing. Very sweet. Now the spiciest deck of the week is Mono Green Infect. This deck actually got 2 trophies in this time period. And it's kind of stock, but one of the new changes to Infect in general is Embiggen. Until end of turn, target non-Brushwag creature gets +1/+1 for each super type, card type, and subtype. So this was from one of the unsets. Same one with the stickers. And I think my understanding is that it gives your infect creatures all +4/+4. So 1 mana +4/+4. You have they have Go Forth, which can search for a basic or give a creature +2/+2, and then Might of Old Krosa. If you play it in your main phase, it gives a creature +4/+4. So you could attack on turn 2 or 9. And then if you have Mutagenic Growth, they can just die on turn 2. So you go Glistener Elf, turn 2, Embiggen, Might of Old Krosa, Mutagenic Growth, GG. They're also playing a Thirsting Roots here, which is a 1/of, but it does proliferate, which is kind of neat. And then they've got Escape Tunnel to help their creatures get in. That's kind of sweet. So hopefully you've enjoyed this walkthrough of the Magic Online League metagame and a couple of spicy decks. Let me know what yours was, which you found to be the favorite, and maybe if I missed anything. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.